Well,
goes
that's
undefeated.
still not impossible. I mean,
No, goes undefeated. Wins the IC belt.
I liked him with that belt. I did a lot. I really did.
And I thought he was going to go super over.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, we just don't see him anymore. The reason being, I think, is because the fans just didn't like him. But they needed to hate him. But they didn't hate him. They just didn't
They just
like him.
didn't respond.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a response. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever. It was like, yeah. When they go over as a heel, it's like, oh, I hate Drew McIntyre. Instead, it was more like,
This guy again, whatever.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. Who else is in the match?
Kofi Kingston. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Kofi. Boom, boom, boom. All right, yeah. It. So that kind of happened to Drew McIntyre, and now he's gonna have to fight and scratch and claw his way to the top instead of maybe the original plan that they had for him, which was to skyrocket. But maybe his success was supposed to be later and not sooner. Someone who I'm very worried about to have the Jack Swagger effect, we'll call it, is Alberto Del Rio.
Nah, no way.
They put a lot of effort into making him go over as a heel. He is over as a heel. I just don't know if he'll stay that way. If he gets that belt from Edge, which I think he will win at WrestleMania, I do. And to be completely fair, I see him winning and The Miz retaining. I do see John Cena putting The Miz over at WrestleMania.
That's what should happen.
I,
That's what should happen.
I'm telling you, with like,
Because both belts can't change hands, and both people can't keep the belts, so something's got to change.
we're about 30 days away from WrestleMania, give or take. I'm telling you right now, when we do our prediction show, those are my two predictions. Alberto Del Rio wins the belt, The Miz retains his belt. I'm just worried that over time, Alberto Del Rio will fizzle out. And maybe that won't be because of him or the fans. I'm worried that his style is very different from anyone else's in the company, and it'll be hard for him to work with someone.
I disagree with that. No.
I'd like to see him work with Jack Swagger, but we won't see Jack Swagger in the main event picture for a very long time.
No.
I'd like to see him work with CM Punk or Bryan Danielson. But again, he's a lot bigger than those guys are, and he has a lot more power moves. They have a lot more technical moves. That's why I want to see him go against Jack Swagger, because Jack Swagger is that power wrestler. And CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, they're just not. They'll get you on the mat and everything, don't get me wrong. But the strength difference is too big. What do you think?
You can't really put Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio together because I don't think it'll be that entertaining.
Yes, it will, but to make it work, you would have to make Jack Swagger a face.
Never
America
happened.
versus Mexico.
Never happened.
And you know that it will come down to USA versus Mexico. Bottom line.
And people get behind Swagger for that reason. Yes.
Yes, they will. If they want to put him over, that's one way to put him over with the fans. Because he's already very hated.
But Alberto Del Rio rip him apart in promos. It'll be no contest.
That's another thing. He's amazing on the microphone.
He's good. He is good. I am impressed with his promo skills. I am.
The first time when I saw him debut, I knew, oh wow, this guy is gonna go very, very far. Just on mic skills alone. Look at what Mike Skills did for The Miz.
Yeah, definitely.
Look what they did for John Cena. Look what they still do for Hulk Hogan.
God.
Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Come on, right or wrong?
Yeah, that's the big part of it. You gotta have that. You have to have that. If you don't, you're just a one-note wrestler. Jack Swagger.
I don't care what era it is in the business. I don't care if it's the youth movement. I don't care if it's the Attitude Era. I don't care if it's Gorgeous George. You don't have to be a good wrestler to be a successful wrestler.
Definitely
If
not.
you are a, let's say, decent talker, you'll be okay. But if you're someone like Dusty Rhodes, who is We just saw him on SmackDown and we absolutely loved it. Dusty Rhodes, amazing on the microphone. Not that great in the ring though. Very average in the ring. And didn't have a look to him either.
No, not at all.
But people loved him because they got behind him because they loved what he said. You can be successful and not know how to wrestle. John Cena.
Yeah, perfect example.
Best example. So, a lot of people are involved with the youth movement. And we're leaving out lots of people. We don't want to upset anybody by not mentioning their favorite wrestlers like Johnny Nitro or Kofi Kingston. Who else is big in the youth movement right now? Super over. Evan Bourne.
If you want to count the core, those guys, they're in the youth movement.
Oh, yeah, sure. Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel. I particularly don't like Heath Slater, but he's, young guy.
The new guy for the Nexus that just came in a couple weeks ago, what's his name?
Mason?
Yeah, Mason Ryan. Here's a funny fact about that. They found Mason Ryan when they was in Europe doing those tours. And he was on American Gladiators, but the European version to that.
Ah.
Guess who he was on there with?
Chris Masters. I don't know.
Magnus.
Really?
Yes.
Magnus from TNA.
Yes, they were together on that show. Look how they went. Pretty funny, huh?
Wow. Separate ways. So, we've got all these young guys, and now there are even groups on Raw and SmackDown. Nexus and the Core.
I think I like the Nexus with CM Punk a little bit better.
Not
just because I like CM Punk. I'll mark out for CM Punk all the time.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing that I don't like is, like example, last week on Raw, we saw them write out Joe Henning, Mr. Perfect Son, or as they call him on television, Michael McGillicuddy, because fans are not responding to him. He's very talented, but for whatever reason, another thing is too, he has some really big shoes to fill. And I think when people watch him, their expectation is, okay, we're going to see a Mr. Perfect match. Maybe you will in the future, but not right now in such a young state that he's in, or such an early stage in his career. But he's definitely someone that I think can be one of the biggest leaders of the youth movement. He's just not getting any response at all from fans.
You gotta give it time with these new guys, because once these new guys start getting better and better, and they start learning the business more and start learning what it takes to entertain the people, it'll come to them for sure, because it's in his blood. That's a guaranteed. It's in there. I think it's just gonna take just time. That's all.
They're a generation wrestler.
It's just gonna take time.
I think that's kind of it for our youth movement show. I don't think I have any other closing arguments. I pretty much said what I wanted to say. What about you?
Yeah, they're pushing their young stars. They're making new stars.
Perfect.
You can't ask for anything less than that.
No.
A lot of people say, yeah, WWF is crap. They don't do nothing. Well, if you don't watch it, a lot of people don't watch it for that, and it's changed. It's getting better as time goes because we're getting these new, young, fresh talent that's hungry and wants it and goes for it.
It's definitely going to be exciting after WrestleMania to see where everyone goes and what's going to happen. And I think we might even see a draft this spring, so that'll definitely shake up some things.
Definitely. I think in time this youth movement is going to be not a movement, but a regular...
Just the state of the company.
Yeah. It's not going to be just a flip of a switch and, oh yeah, okay, well, it's done now. It's over.
Let's bring back in Hunter with the belt.
But I think those days are over, honestly.
I am with you. Very, very exciting times ahead for the WWF. You've got the following contests, and that's what we think about the youth movement. If you have any comments, questions, if you agree or if you disagree, if you think whatever we're saying is just bullshit, let us know. And if you disagree with the youth movement, let us know why. We want to know, to all of our 1,000 some odd viewers we've got in the last 10 days, If you don't like or disagree with the youth movement, we want to know why. And what would you do differently with the current state of WWF? If you were Vince McMahon, what would you do to make money and have a successful Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown? Got the following contests, and we'll see you next week.